What's up, y'all? Logan Parker, Heirloom Builders. Today, we're gonna be talking about septic systems and how every time you flush the toilet or wash water down the sink, we deal with it. Okay, so the way that it works is that every time that you flush a toilet or wash water down the sink, water comes out of the house through a 4-inch PVC drain pipe and it flows down underground and into this septic tank right here. The septic tank is made of 2 different chambers. The first is a settling chamber that allows all of the dirty wastewater and all the solids in it to settle down to the bottom. As those solids settle, the cleaner water comes to the top and spills out through a slit in a baffle wall that separates that second chamber from the first dirty water chamber. And then as that second chamber fills up, it spills out of that 3-inch pipe on the far side of the septic tank and fills the leach field. The leach field is composed of, in this case, 3 100-foot level lines on contour. We use an infiltrator, a corrugated plastic half dome that fills up that trench and allows a lot of air and water space underneath the ground so that all the water coming out of your septic system can fill up that trench and gradually percolate and infiltrate the soil safely underground. And that's how a septic system works. It's as simple as that. Water comes out of your house into a septic tank. The solids settle in the first chamber. The cleaner water spills out into a second chamber that eventually, once that fills, it spills out of that 3-inch pipe and starts filling up these septic leach lines. Safely, away, out of sight, out of mind. It's as easy as that.
My name is Steve Gulick. We install septics, we do lot clears, we do waterproofing of foundations, final grading, seed and straw.
So tell me a little bit about septic system. What are the main components of a septic system?
On a gravity system, you have a septic tank, and then you have your lateral lines. The length of the lateral lines is determined by the amount of bedrooms you have in the house, depending on the soil type. The older style systems, they were put in at any depth they wanted to put them in, and the new systems are, depending on the soil depth, they average anywhere from 18 inches to 24 inches deep. You have to have a foot of good soil underneath. You can still use gravel, but you can also use alternative systems, which are 25% reduction from a gravel system. So if you get a small area and want a 4-bedroom house, say a gravel system would be 500 feet, alternative system would be 400 feet. So you can get more bedrooms in a smaller area. This is just a standard gravity system, 1,000-gallon tank, and we used infiltrator, plastic dome.
So that holds a whole bunch of water.
Yes, it will take a lot of water.
Now, do people still use gravel for certain instances?
We put gravel systems in where there's going to be like a pasture, where there's going to be livestock or horses. Then we'll put gravel in, because if it got wet, they could disturb the alternative system. And gravel they won't. Gravel is harder, more stable. So that's the only difference in them. We normally dig it with a backhoe. The trenches have to be 3 foot wide, and then of course the health department determines the depth of the soil. But we dig it with a backhoe, and then we cover it up with a rubber track skid steer. And you don't want a rubber tire skid steer on a septic system.
Why not?
Because it'll smash the alternative system. Now you could use it on a gravel system, but not on an alternative. We set the tanks with a truck, a boom truck that the tank supplier supplies, brings the tank, and we dig the hole, and then he sets the tank in the hole. 1,000-gallon tank weighs approximately 8,000 to 9,000 pounds. So they have to set it with a truck.
How do you know how deep to go?
Well, depending on the outlet of the house, and where the septic system starts. That determines how the depth of the tank, because you have to have fall from out of the house, but then you also have to have fall from the tank to the septic field.
Cool. So you shoot elevations.
Yes. Normally in sod fields or in grassy area or in yards, there's not a whole lot of maintenance you can do to them, but if it's in trees, then you can put root kill, it's copper sulfate. You can put it in the system, that kills the roots, but it won't kill the trees. The main thing on a septic is don't use a lot of chlorine bleach and run it through the system because it kills the bacteria.
Trees are probably the biggest.
They're the biggest hazard as far as a septic system, yes. And don't drive a dump truck over a septic system. Yeah, we've had that happen a few times.
And can you normally just replace part of that line, or how do
you can replace what is damaged, but it's very difficult. It has to be hand dug, everything. So if on the infiltrator they come in 4-foot sections, if you've got to replace a section, you have to dig up 12 feet to be able to replace one 4-foot section. So it is a time-consuming job. Your field is the lateral lines, approved by the health department. They're on contour. This one in particular was 18 inches deep, so you had to have 18 inches all the way. You follow the contour. You come to the end of the line, then you put a step down in, and then you reverse direction until you get the amount of footage in you need. We connect them with PVC pipe.
maintenance?
The main thing to avoid is chlorine in your clothes. And we've had cases where people do a lot of composting. And if they compost too much, you need bacteria in the tank for it to work properly. So if you compost everything, then you need to put additives in the tank to create bacteria. And the best thing to put in is baking soda. It will create bacteria.
So you flush a certain amount?
Yes. Yeah. My wife puts baking soda in the refrigerator. Once every month or two, she'll just dump it down the sink. And
how much?
Just a small box of baking soda.
Whole box?
Yes. And it will create bacteria.
Huh. Cool.
And that's basically the only maintenance you can do on them. A little bit of grease won't hurt anything because it will, bacteria will eat the grease up. Now, excessive amount of grease, yeah, you wouldn't want to pour a cup full of grease in the septic tank to clog up the pipes in your house. And it would collect in the septic tank too. That's basically about it as far as maintenance. They're a two-piece tank. They come in the bottom half and the top half, and there's a dividing chamber in the center that the solids stay on the inlet end, and the water goes out the outlet end. And there's a filter on the outlet end of the tank before it goes out to the field, and it needs to be cleaned every time the septic tank is pumped, which some health departments recommend 2 years, some say 3. So, but the best thing to do is get it pumped after 2 or 3 years, see how bad it is, talk to the person you get it to pump it, and if it's not that bad, then you can go maybe 4 years the next time, or 5. So it just depends on what the condition of the tank is as far as solids when you get it pumped the first time. The solids stay in the inlet end of the tank. The water goes to the outlet end of the tank. So you pump out the inlet end of the tank.
From what I understand, basically the only thing a homeowner could do to maintain their septic system is probably to replace or clean out the filter. How do they know when that's the right time, and what do they do? There's
no time factor. It just depends on what they put down the sink and what gets into the filter. I've had filters in that last a year because they plug up because people put a lot of stuff down the tank And I've had other, my personal house, I have got a filter in. I cleaned it after 18 years. So it just depends.
So how do you know the tub starts backing up?
You'll get some backing up into the house or out of the riser. In the case of this system, the water would come out of the riser before it would come out of the house.
Wow, just because it's so much lower than the house.
The tank is so much lower than the house.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Well, that's a good advantage.
Yes, a real good advantage. But if it does back up, you can tell by the way the water goes. If you drain the sink, you can tell if it's real slow, then that means you've got some blockage somewhere.
And then you just lift the lid up.
Lift the lid up and you can see the filter, but it will probably be covered with the water. So you probably have to have the tank pump to have access to the filter.
And then you just spray it out?
Spray it out, pull it out, it pulls out, you spray it out, there's an arrow on it, and when it's replaced, make sure the arrow is toward the discharge end of the tank.
Gotcha. Well, thanks so much for the comprehensive information, Steve.
You're welcome.
So what's the deal with this? You're gonna end up connecting this to here.
This one, then we'll go down to the third line and connect to that one.
And then how many lines total?
3 lines.
3 lines totaling how many feet?
300 feet.
What kind of system is this?
Infiltrated.
So no gravel, just that plastic pipe, conventional gravity feed.
Yeah, it's a 25% reduction system.
What does that reduction mean?
It's just
25% off gravel, whatever the gravel would be, you take 25% off of it. So if it's 400 feet gravel, 25% off, you got 300 feet.
It's alternatives. This is an approved county alternative septic system.
Okay, so normally it's a gravel.
400 feet.
400 feet of gravel.
And if you use an alternative approved material, which is easy flow or infiltrator, you can use a 25% reduction.
Which is this black plastic.
Black plastic.
Or the styrofoam.
Or the styrofoam.
I got you.
Easy flow.
So this one fills up to the top, and then the water will trickle down in this one until this one fills up to the top, and it'll step down and out. So this one might not see water for, I don't know, 15 years.
May never, depending on depending on how many people live in the house.
And this bottom want to stay dry for 30 years, maybe.
In order to build a house on a rural piece of land that doesn't connect to city sewer, you need an appropriate way to deal with the human waste and wastewater from your house. Everything from your toilets, your sinks, your showers, your laundry, all that stuff. And so the first thing you got to do when you look for a piece of land or buy a piece of land and you want to build a house is talk to your local jurisdiction, usually your county if you're in a rural area, is going to have a Department of Environmental Health. And what that department does is it surveys the land to see if you have a perk site. What you want to do is apply for an improvement permit that basically cues environmental health to come out, send with their technicians to come analyze the soil to see if your soil can handle the water load of a certain amount of water. So every time you flush a toilet, you're looking at about 3 gallons of water going out into your lawn. And so what we do is we dig trenches in good soil so that all of that water has a place to sit while it percolates into the soil. So environmental health is going to give you an improvement permit and a construction authorization to build a septic system, and you need that in order to get a building permit. And really there's no sense in building a house on a piece of land where you can't dispose of your waste properly, wastewater. So the first step in a lot of cases in building a home is to talk to environmental health to make sure that this piece of land that you want to build a new home on has a perk site where you can have a septic system. If not, you better move on, because you don't want to build a really expensive home and be flying under the radar. You're just never going to have the resale value or the value in general. It's going to be a waste of your money. So talk to environmental health first. So that's basically how a modern septic system works. It's as simple as that. If you got something out of this video, smash that like button. And make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on upcoming videos where we show you the bones of how a fine home is built. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.